Hello, everybody. Jason Grandon with the Grandon Group, Arizona's #1 brother and sister real estate team right here in beautiful Arizona. Yes, I handle the Phoenix area, Paradise Valley, Queen Creek, Chandler, Cave Creek. While my sister, well, she handles the colder weather, Flagstaff, Sedona, Prescott, the Tri-City areas. And let me tell you, real estate is hot. Here we are in February. I know it's been a little bit. February has actually been super, super busy. I was just looking. Our last podcast was almost like 3.5 weeks ago. So I do apologize. I told you we're going to keep this stuff going. We've got so many different items in the fire. It's not even funny. You can also read the blog that this podcast is about at thegrandongroup.com/blogs. Check out the blog. Check out the website. It's awesome. So, anyways, I wanted to, first of all, hope everyone's having a great new year. 2025 is turning out to be just an absolute exceptional year. It's awesome. It's great. It's busy. I gotta tell you, the events in town, Arizona is packed. I don't care where you're at, whether you're up in Prescott enjoying the courthouse and the nice cooler weather, Flagstaff enjoying what we should have snow, not very much, or down here in Scottsdale where, just to kind of give you an idea, this week's been almost 90 degrees. We're not even in March yet. We're last week of February, and here we are, 90 degrees. I mean, you can go stand in the pool. Some of you from the Midwest that have come in from the colder weather, you can jump in the pool. It won't bug you. But it's great, and it's got a lot of people moving out here. So what have we been selling? Okay, so things are selling, things are moving if they're priced right. So we've got a few people that, pricing their house and they don't want to budge on the price. And right now, quite honestly, that's the bottom line. You could have the best house in the world, and if it's not priced right, it's not gonna matter. But fortunately, we got some new home builds. So there's a lot of growth going on in Arizona. And if you drive around the East Valley or even the West Valley or Southwest Valley, and even up in Prescott and stuff, there's a lot of new home builders. Several years back, they bought the land. They started building some really, really great homes. And you're seeing these new communities pop up. So fortunately, I've been busy in Surprise and in that area lately, in Buckeye. And so I've been driving out there, which is a little far from where I live in Cave Creek. And you drive through there, you're like, oh my God, get on the 303, you drive down there, blah, 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 blah. You get there and you're like, wow, this is nice. It's all brand new. There's a new Safeway, new Fry's, new shopping centers, new restaurants, non-commercial, by the way, or like mom and pop type stuff. Just a bunch of new stuff popping up. And then you pull into these really well-groomed subdivisions, and you're just like, wow, this is changing. We are watching brand new communities develop right in front of our eyes. And you're probably thinking, Jason, we see that all the time. This is different. When you pull in, you are seeing people that maybe in some of the communities where we were 20 years ago. You're buying your first house. You're $350,000, $400,000, which is still a lot. But this first house, and you're just watching these communities grow. You're watching people outside, cleaning up their yards or walking the dogs, the kids are out. You're just watching these communities build. And you have to stop and realize that this is the future of Arizona. Yeah, you can come over here to 85254 where, homes were built in the 80s and, get something nice. And listen, I'm not knocking it. It's great over there. But when you go into these fresh new communities, we don't know how it's going to turn out. We don't know if the area is going to end up being just great. But I'll tell you what, they're building fire stations that are built with brick. Verrado is such an incredible, beautiful community. And it's got the title of Buckeye, but it's actually just a little bit on the west side of Litchfield Park. It's great. The people that came in and did the plans, they did bigger streets. They really planned for today's family. Higher ceilings. Most of the houses, you'll notice, don't have bathtubs. There might be one in the house, but the master's, or primary bath, as we're supposed to say, does not have that. They have showers. But anyway, it's just amazing watching these new communities, knowing that in 20 years, it's going to be the future of Arizona. And I honestly believe some of these houses that are selling $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 are going to be pushing $1 million in 10 years. And there's another community up at like 70th and Happy Valley. And love that community. It was all desert. It was right at the base of the mountain, all brand new. There's a new shopping center, and there's a new Safeway, Einstein's. There's CCV Churches over there, Lifetime Fitness. Life is there. Life is happening, and it's absolutely amazing. And before I started the podcast, I'm like, how do I want to describe this without sounding like a total sympathetic fool? But that's what it is. We are witnessing brand new communities popping up, creating the future of Arizona. And we're seeing it in Flagstaff, Prescott, Sedona. Payson's just about built out. These brand new communities come in. Taylor Morrison, KB Homes, Lennar, Toll Brothers. And that's just to name a few. Shea, D.R. Horton. There's a ton. And some new builds, too. Some new contractors building these great communities. And it's absolutely fascinating to watch. It's also kind of fascinating to see the technology that goes into the homes for a 2024-25 home compared to a 2016 home. It's absolutely night and day. So the dilemma. So the podcast today is called The New Build Dilemma. All right. So here we are. We're 3 months into 2025. The Arizona market's still great, keeping everyone on their toes. Prices have remained. They're pretty steady overall. I mean, it's still a buyer's market for the most part. Yet you have some sellers and even some of these agents that haven't quite caught on that this is not the past. They still price their homes way overpriced. They sit on the market way longer than they should. And they're not communicating with their sellers, which is not good for anybody. But let's be clear. This isn't a doom and gloom podcast. The market is still good. Buy a home. Start building that financial wealth today. And listen, you don't have to buy a house today and say, okay, next year I'm going to do this. We're still going up at 4 to 5% a year for the most part. It's a great time to buy. So here's an interesting dilemma that I need buyers to be aware of when making their next move. Okay? Listen, I call it a dilemma, but it's really not. So you're thinking about, I'm going to buy a house. All right? So you go and get pre-qualified through a lender. We got some great lenders out here. You get qualified. They're like, okay, Mr. Mrs. Buyer, you were qualified with 10% or 20% down, and we'll get you a rate of 6.95, 7%. Let's just say 7%. I know it's a little higher. I'm gonna get a couple lenders that are gonna sit here on this podcast and say, Jason, I can do a better loan. I know you can because you're the best. We're just using this for example purposes, and it's pretty close to being accurate. But I'm using the numbers so I don't forget where I'm at on the podcast. So let's just say you go in there and it's upper 6s or 7s or maybe even higher. Okay, and you're like, okay, this house I want to buy is $500,000, and at 7% interest, it's roughly a $3,500 a month payment. You're like, oh man, with taxes, interest, you could be pushing $4,000. So, but let's just say 35 for all intents and purposes. Now you go to a new build, and the house is $500,000, $100,000 more than you were paying, and you can get in there with FHA loans locked at 3.99. for 30 years. Conventional lot, first year 3.99, second year 4.99, third year 5% lot, 4.99 lot. You can't even do buy downs on most of the regular houses with this to get it that low without spending a ton of money. So this is your dilemma. If you work and you have to be right close to your work, then okay, so then the options kind of narrow themselves out and you know what you have to do. But if you're like, okay, wait a second. Jason just said these new builds are going in, new communities. I can get there. Yeah, maybe I drive 20 minutes, 30 minutes more to work. But I can go out to a brand spanking new area and you can be the founder. You can be the guy and girl who develops that area. So let's just say you work in downtown Phoenix. Well, you know what? Buckeye's not that far, and Surprise is not that far with the freeways. You might want to go take a look at that. You're going to get a big bang for your buck and save a lot of money. You get a brand spanking new house, all the warranties, all that fun stuff. Now, by the way, the home builders are offering some pretty good incentives too. They pay your closing costs. Plus, we've negotiated washer, dryer, fridges, blinds, ceiling fans, so you can get that stuff done. But just keep in mind that if you do buy a new build, there are things you're going to have to do to it. Backyard, landscaping, maybe a pool. So there's some additional expenses that might just make it more beneficial to go with the resale house with a little higher rate because it kind of evens out in the long run. But it is one of those things that you do need to be aware of. And quite honestly, if you're going out, invite the Grandon Group, Arizona's #1 brother and sister real estate team, or the realtor you're working with. Take them with you to the new builds. Let them sign you in. I know some of you think, well, I'm going to save money. You do not want to let the new builds represent you and their boss, which is the builder. Not saying they're going to treat you bad, but there's a lot of room to negotiate. Plus, you want to have someone on your side. Plus, there's some good secrets that some of the good realtors know on how to maybe get a lower price, maybe get more closing costs, maybe get you moved in a little earlier or later. There's a ton of stuff. So trust me when I tell you, take a lender, you can take a lender with you too, but take a realtor with you to go. And then most of the new builds, they do require you to use their lender to get these rates. I've seen it go both ways. So get pre-qualified through a regular lender, or let's go take a look at some new homes. If you're just wanting to go, just check it out. Again, have the realtor check you in, but let's go take a look at some new places. You're going to be amazed at what you get. Oh, and the other thing a lot of the builders are doing, not all of them, but some of the builders like Lennar, you can't go into Lennar and say, okay, I want this house with this, this, and this. They already have their plans on what they're building, so they go quick. So if you want X plan with this, this, and this in it, it's already been decided. So it helps make your decision easier, and it's streamlined, and it's great. And I'll tell you what, our sales guy over at Lennar, Doug, is just fantastic, and he makes things happen. So this is your dilemma. You're wanting to get a house. Now, do you want to be the founder of a new build in a new area where they've got just new life happening? I mean, 5 years ago, I'd drive out to some of these houses out in Surprise or something. No, there was nothing there. It was desert. I mean, literally, people were out there shooting cans and rabbits and riding their dirt bikes and everything else. And now it's beautiful manicured streets, sidewalks, water features, beautiful community centers with, workout rooms, and shopping centers are going in, movie theaters, restaurants. It is absolutely amazing. It is unbelievable. So I call it a buyer dilemma, but the only dilemma is, which route do you want to go? Are you willing to bite the bullet, get a new build, and be part of a brand new community and help develop it for future generations? Or do you want to go into one that's already established? There's no wrong answer. The only wrong answer is that you're not buying a house. So get in there, get into this market. Let's get you qualified. Let's find you a great house. It is a great time to buy. Then you can get out, get that bike in the garage, go out on these bike rides. By the way, the trails off of some of these communities are absolutely amazing. You can walk miles and miles into the desert, into the mountain trails, mountain biking, horseback riding. It's just absolutely phenomenal. The lifestyle is just awesome. Okay, so listen, we are heading into March. Spring training's in full swing. We just got done with Barrett Jackson, the golf, the Arabian show. We got a couple horse shows coming up. Bike Week's up here next month, which if you've not seen that in Scottsdale, it is crazy. Plus, I got to tell you, you got to take a trip up to Flagstaff and Sedona and Prescott. This is the absolute heaven on earth. I know our friends that are listening back east, you guys are freezing right now. You're getting snowed in. We're sitting here outside, honestly, barbecuing, shorts and t-shirt, getting ready to take my son to soccer here at night, and we're in shorts and t-shirt. We don't need a sweater. It's crazy. It's like summertime year-round. So listen, Arizona's a great place to live. Hey, also, I want to thank you guys for making me Arizona's #1 lifestyle and real estate podcast. I get the emails from you. I pick the topics from what you send. Love talking to you. Become our friend on Facebook at the Grandon Group, Instagram. Facebook kind of blows, so we've been kind of Instagram more. Send me an email or a text. My phone number is below. Either way, we're looking forward to talking to you. And listen, even if you're not using us, give a call. We'll give you our opinion, and if you like it, great. If you don't, that's fine. We got some great homes out here for sale, and I just love Arizona. It's just a great place to live. It's a little crowded right now. It takes you an extra 20, 30 minutes to get anywhere, even 2 minutes up the road. But you know what? It's a great place to raise your family. It's a great place to call home. All right, everybody. Jason Grandon here with the Grandon Group, Arizona's #1 brother and sister real estate team. Keep me posted. Let me know what you need, and we will talk to you soon. You guys have a great day, and hey, happy almost March. St. Patrick's Day is almost here. Talk to you soon.